The Bedrock edition of Minecraft is better than the Java edition of Minecraft in one very, very specific way, and that is the fact that you can do this. You can move chests, and everything else for that matter. You've got hoppers, you can even push double chests if you really want to. I mean, that's pretty fancy. It's an awesome feature that I would absolutely love to see in the Java edition version of Minecraft, and it's one that I currently have in the Java edition version of Minecraft. Yeah, I'm playing in Java right now. Thanks to the carpet mod developed by Gnembon of the Cycraft server, I'll put a link to it down in the description, we can actually now move tile entities. These things are referred to as tile entities. They're now movable. So now it's time for me to spend a good number of hours just experimenting and essentially faffing around with this feature and seeing what I can do with it. Now before I start, I feel I should actually mention, I have played with this feature a little bit in the past in a different redstone mod, but it was a tiny bit inconsistent and there were some redstone things that broke when using it, so this should be a lot more realistic to traditional vanilla Minecraft. Let's get things started with a cycling super smelter. So the idea in concept is quite simple. We have a bunch of furnaces that spin around on a piston feed tape, and obviously as they pass underneath a hopper or next to a hopper, they should get filled up with coal and the items required to smelt them. And obviously this means that it's very expandable and we could create ridiculous piston systems pretty easily. And by piston systems, of course, I mean furnace systems. Blast this silly mouth. If this works, I will be very, very surprised. It doesn't work, I'm not surprised. I do have high hopes for this one though. Oh my goodness, it actually does function. Okay, so this is now cycling round, and then I'm hoping that this should start depositing coal. I mean, all of these do have coal in them. Look at that! All of our furnaces are switched on. Oh my goodness, I want one of these. I want one of these right now in my base, right now. I want one in my real house. Imagine how many meals I could cook if I just had something like this. Ah, it's broken. No, it's not broken. It's just smelted all the items that quick. That's fast. And now that it actually has an output chest, you can see just how quick this thing is. I mean, the items are flying out of this thing. This is very cool. Right, let's expand it. I'm running into a bit of an issue here, and that is the fact that the system turns off before the furnaces have cleared out all of their items. And the way that I get around it is interesting. I guess if we approach this like a programming problem, if this chest is empty and this is empty, then the system can turn off. Okay, 1 hour of serious head scratching later, I really don't know why I'm spending so much time on trying to make this perfect, but I'm trying to make this perfect. And finally I've managed to pull it off. The chest is empty, but the furnaces are still cycling because there's still items on the inside. Yes! Yes, I actually did it! And now that there's no items on the inside, we should be seeing the end relatively soon. There it is. All of these furnaces are empty. It's actually worked. Whew, okay. 3 hours of my life spent on that machine, but that's absolutely fine. Let's move on to the next one. I feel it would be wrong of me to not show you how fast this thing is, by the way. It's pretty quick as far as super smelters go. It's not too bad. Right, now seriously, let's get as far away from this thing as possible. Now I'm just wondering, is there a way that I can take this block swapper design right here and make it so I can stack a bunch of them next to one another using some of the new features that are in the latest Minecraft update? I've gone down another rabbit hole that I don't seem to be able to get out of. I can't work out how to do this. I feel like it could be possible to do it, but I just can't seem to do it. I'm going to dedicate another hour to this, and if I can't manage to pull it off, then we'll move on. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, this actually worked! I actually managed to pull it off. So we now have... These things can sit next to... Right, let me stack all these up together. As you can tell, I've definitely been caught off guard by that one. I kind of wasn't expecting that to work. So I'm very, very happy that it did. I was totally starting to lose hope. I just didn't think there was a way to do it. But those target blocks, I swear, they are like the secret new best block in Minecraft. I mean, they get you out of tricky situations so well. This might just be one of the most satisfying redstone contraptions to watch work. I mean, come on. It all works so quickly. It's just... This makes me happy. I could do this all day. However, I have just had a thought. I think I might be able to make this even simpler, and that's going to be quite depressing because I spent a lot of time on this. But I imagine it is going to work quite nicely because double chests. Double chests are interesting in the carpet mod because they don't behave how I would expect them to. When you push a double chest, the whole double chest moves. It doesn't split up into two separate chests. The whole thing moves as one, which means that actually we can create two wide systems that we connect up with repeaters to do things like this. Man, I don't know which one I prefer. There's something cool about the speed of that one. But this is also pretty sweet, to be honest with you. Either design would fit in very, very nicely with my base. Very, very nicely indeed. In case it wasn't clear, I really, really want this to be in the game. Mojang, if you're watching this for whatever reason, please, please, Minecraft 1.16, movable tile entities. It would make a grown man cry. With happiness, that is. I think I would shed a tear. Anyway, let's move on to the next design. And this one needs to be a little bit of a ways away from the other redstone contraptions for reasons that you'll see in a second, but I think this genuinely is one of the main reasons why movable tile entities would actually be a very good addition to the game. And it is this. If I just place some TNT inside this dispenser right here, and then give this observer a bit of an update. Oh, yeah, that's working. Oh, gosh. That's working. Yeah, that's working very, very nicely indeed. So we've got ourselves a working carpet bomber. Now, obviously, we can build these in vanilla Minecraft, but we have to make use of TNT duplication, which for some people is a little bit cheaty, but there's no way to clear out large areas of land other than obviously mining it in an efficient fashion. The best way to do it is using carpet bombers. So Mojang is probably in a bit of a tricky situation because obviously they can't really patch TNT duplication without annoying a lot of people and providing an alternative. And this is a really good alternative because it takes the cheatiness out. You're not duplicating TNT anymore. You have to gather all of this TNT, so it would be incredibly expensive. But it is doable and you can build it in survival Minecraft. Right, let's see. Does this work? Yes, it does. Oh my goodness, this is a bit of a monstrous carpet bomber, and it looks like it might blow itself up at some point. Wow, look at this thing go. Oh my goodness, this thing's ridiculous. This is ridiculous, and it's so tiny as well. Imagine how mad things could get if you were to actually increase the scale of these things. I mean, seriously. This is so much fun. Oh dear. Okay, right. Well, if you were to build a carpet bomber like this one, the old triple threat, you'd probably have to build it a little bit higher above the ground than I did. So with carpet bombers out of the way, let's move on to something else interesting. And thankfully, after inflicting a lot of destruction to the landscape, I think we can safely pop over to our other redstone contraptions now. With that being said, though, this isn't really a safe redstone contraption. In theory, it should still be a weapon. And I'm really curious as to how I'm actually going to build this. I kind of want to make a pop-up turret. So if I think this through, we're going to need 3 sets of double piston extenders that pop out from underneath the ground. One of them's for the dispenser, the other 2 are for the observers that are going to be activating the redstone clock. And then we almost need like a hidden trapdoor system. So this will be picking up the floor blocks. So floor blocks removed, dispensers and everything pop up. Shoots, death. Perfect. I mean, that seems like a good plan to me, except it totally wouldn't work because I can't think of a single way in which I can power this central double piston extender. So I've gone back into the drawing board a little bit and I've actually come up with a far simpler piston layout that just involves block swappers and things. Now just imagine that these blue blocks right here are the dispensers and these are just the regular floor blocks. If we flick this lever... Okay, that was good. So that would be our turret up and above the ground. That seems to have worked. And that is all that happens on the retraction side of things. Okay, so we just need a bunch of falling edge monostable circuits. I honestly can't tell if we're making progress or things are getting worse. So if I just do this, right, okay, no, what's happening, what's going on, I don't know. Oh, it just worked. It just worked it just suddenly worked. I was not. Once again, this seems to be the running theme of this episode. Things just work unexpectedly. Good. I can't believe that's just functioned. All right, let's get the actual turret in place. Oh gosh, how did I not think of this? Well, that's definitely going to mess with things, isn't it? I can't just have a running redstone clock in the build. I mean, surely that's going to break everything, isn't it? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yep. I refuse to be defeated by this thing. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board again. I think I have an idea of how I could do it. 1 hour of total confusion later. This design also doesn't work for many reasons. And namely, these pistons right here. They're supposed to push these blocks back up to being flush with the floor, but then they get dragged around by the honey blocks, and It just doesn't function. Another bunch of time later, I've done it. And not only have I done it, I've actually done it well. I'm quite proud of myself on this one. So this redstone contraption is 3 blocks wide. It's the smallest design that I actually came up with, and it works really, really nicely. So you can see our redstone clock is currently deactivated. The observer has been moved out of the way. The dispenser is not firing. Obviously, we're not just dispensing arrows into the inside of our redstone contraption. But then when we hit this button here, you can see everything pops up and our turret actually functions. So you can fill this in with potions or with fireballs or obviously with arrows, although the range isn't exactly fantastic. But then when you're done with it, hit the button and everything gets retracted downwards. This thing shuts off. All of the redstone works. I mean, this... Oh, there's something incredibly satisfying about that, isn't there? There's also something incredibly satisfying about the way that I deactivate the redstone clock. Look, watch this. Okay, so obviously we push the piston up and that creates the redstone clock. But I actually used the pulsing of the redstone clock to turn it off. I've just got a sticky piston facing upwards. There's no redstone connecting this in. There's no timing circuits going on. But look at that. That's the sort of redstone engineering that I personally really enjoy. Just the geeky small details. Absolutely love it. So there we go. I've barely scratched the surface with what is possible with movable tile entities. I just want to reach out once again to Mojang and say, please, please, this would be such a cool addition into the Java version of Minecraft. We've got it in Bedrock. Okay, it would be so cool if we also had it in Java. I would really, really appreciate that. I'm going to be playing with this a bunch over the next couple of weeks. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. And of course, once again, I just want to say, if you do want to check out the carpet mod, it is by Gnembon. I'll put a link to his YouTube video with the full tutorial of how to use carpet down in the description, because it's incredibly detailed, very in-depth. And the actual mod itself is helpful for more than just this. You know, if you're testing farms, you can look at all the statistics, hopper counts, everything. It's a fantastic mod.